Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Frisbee webinar. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Ryan Kramer, and I'm the head of marketing and growth here at Frisbee. Today is an exciting day. It's about going into Canada or selling into Canada on Amazon. And I want to go ahead and say first and foremost, I'm so excited about the intrigue and the the wanting to learn more information. That's what we're all here about at Frisbee when it comes to growing your brand. More information we can get in the hands of Amazon and e-commerce sellers, the better. So I appreciate everyone spending a little bit of time today. In the next hour or so, I want to break down and demystify and answer as many questions as possible about selling in Canada, specifically the newest regulation when it comes into place. But first and foremost, if you are attending live, thank you for watching. This is an interactive webinar. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the comment section. I will monitor as I can and go through. Also, thank you for those who submitted questions in advance. We were able to take those and put the top asked questions towards the end of the webinar to make sure that any of those questions we make sure that we take and appreciate the time that you had to ask those and answer those questions here moving forward. But you are all here, and again, if you are here, and let us know where you're listening from. If you're watching the replay, thank you. And you can also submit questions as well. And we will be monitoring those. If you have questions, we'll have points to connect with the team here, if you so choose, with further questions about what we are talking about today. And that is CARM. CARM in understanding that for Amazon sellers and what is coming down the pipeline for the Canadian government, but also the marketplace of Amazon as a whole. So if we're ready to get started, I'm excited to share the information that we have to help you understand and make sure that 2024 is a prosperous one in the Canadian market. Let's get started. All right. So first and foremost, let's talk about our agenda today. What we're going to be covering. Everything from Amazon Canada overview, going over statistics, opportunities, a little bit about the ways that you can start selling into Amazon. Number two, what is CARM? That's why we're all here to understand what this vague term means, but also why it's going to be important as an Amazon seller for those who are in the future. First and foremost, let me go ahead and share my screen for those who are looking for the presentation. Uh, just realized that. So the presentation and our agenda of what we're going to be doing in place. I will go ahead and get the top right, so I'm out of the way entirely. So what is CARM? We're going to be covering that next. Number three, how does CARM affect my future plans and expansion plans as an entrepreneur? So, as a brand, if you're currently selling, or if you are thinking about selling in Canada in 2024 and beyond, this is going to be very important for you to understand. Number four, when are these changes taking place? Big question. A lot of people want to know. This is something that has been years in the planning on the Canadian government side, but now has been officially deadline has been rolled out for phase two, which means nothing to you right now. But phase two is going to be applicable for you as an Amazon seller or an e-commerce seller or someone who's just doing business in Canada entirely. This is important. Number five, how can I prepare myself for my business, my company? If you are an entrepreneur, how can I just prepare myself in general? These are questions we're in the tips that we're going to make sure that you understand before walking away from today. Number six, how can Frisbee help my navigate CARM, and also how can Frisbee help with a Canada expansion process? A lot of people asked about that, so I am more than happy to touch on that a little bit today. It's not the full focus, but how Frisbee is going to support our customers, but also future Canada sellers here in 2024 and beyond as well. And finally, answering all of your questions. Got a lot of people today. I will do my very best to be as timely as possible and answering as many specific questions as I can. But if it's very specific and not applicable to the entire ecosystem, which there's so many people I'm excited about speaking towards today, I will make sure that there is a point of reference where you can ask your specific questions. I will also open up my own inbox, personal inbox, so that we can get those questions answered for you today and help your expansion journey. Sound good? Amazing. Let's go ahead and get started. 1 second. All right. Apologize for the delay. 1 second. Let's go ahead and get started with the. Oh, there it is. Make sure the presentation is fully seen. 1 second. I'm so sorry, everyone. All right, I had to switch my screens around 1 second, and I apologize for that for everyone who's watching this. This is what happens live when you can only prepare so much. So I will go ahead and share my screen once again, and we're already off to the races. There we go. Perfect. There we go. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. So going into the first thing we're going to be talking about is the Amazon Canada overview. What does the Amazon opportunity look like on for Amazon sellers here in 2024? And what's really interesting is that people have talked about, they've that is there an opportunity for my brand to exist in the Amazon? You might be not even selling in Canada right now. You might have been part of what's called the NARF program, or North American Remote Fulfillment Program. We did a webinar about that a couple of months ago, and that's a resource I will be pointing people to on what that opportunity looks like as an Amazon seller, where you are in your journey. Is it right for you right now? And then selling directly into Amazon FBA. But these are statistics I want to share with you, straight from the Amazon Accelerate Conference back in September 2023. These are directly from the heads of Amazon Canada, and the statistics that they shared are very insightful for people who are considering the expansion to Amazon Canada market. So, in terms of Amazon Canada overview, about 90% of all Canadian population lives within 150 miles of the US border, which typically sees well into the United States, sells well into the United States, and sells well within Canada. What sells well in the United States sells well in Canada. So that's a statistic and an insight that Amazon has seen. Most e-commerce sellers see is that what sells well in the United States sells well in Canada. 161 million monthly users and visitors are active on Amazon.ca. Big audience, capable of driving incremental growth for lots of sellers in this marketplace. 85% of Canadians use Amazon.ca monthly, which is a really big and unique market penetration statistic to take note of. That 85% of a population is utilizing one marketplace. So the opportunity, if you're not selling in Canada, this number should really jump out at you. The top categories, if you're a seller that's looking to expand, and this is a marketplace that's fit for you, the top categories in Canada include lifestyle, which is bed, bedding, bath, bedding, home decor, which is roughly translates to about $3.8 billion in revenue. HRV, which is toys, tools, sports, and outdoors. So more lifestyle. 2.9 billion in revenue. Health and personal care is 1.8 billion, which is the baby, beauty, and grocery category. And then PCs or electronics represents 1.8 billion in revenue. Laptops, desktops, monitors, electronics. Those are the top categories that both Frisbee as well as Amazon sees. Our customers represent quite a lot of these categories, and same with supplements and topicals or digestibles, things you put in your mouth or on your body. Again, in the health and beauty category, that's what that represents. All right, number two. So with that being said, I want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable knowing those kinds of data and statistics. What is CARM? So CARM, I'll let everyone have a chance to kind of read through this. CARM is the Canadian Border Services Agency, or the CBSA. You'll see that phrase as well. It facilitates the flow of legitimate travelers in trade. The agency also enforces more than 100 acts and regulations to keep Canada safe. So basically, it's the revenue government, or the the revenue branch of the Canadian government to make sure that import duties and taxes and Canadians in general, they're being safe. But the CBSA assessment and revenue management, or CARM, that's what the CARM comes from. The CBSA organization, it's their assessment and revenue management system. It's a project that's taken years into being built and actually being rolled out on the back end, and now has been ready to roll out to sellers or anyone who's looking to import their goods into Canada. So it's an ambitious project designed to revolutionize the import process of Canada in general. By digitalizing and streamlining the collection of duties and taxes on imported goods, CARM aims to simplify the procedures for businesses, including Amazon sellers. The system is vital for anyone looking to import goods into Canada as it affects how duties and taxes are calculated, paid, and managed. So all of this should be applicable to everyone who's on this call if you're a current seller or in the future. That is why it is so important to understand this ecosystem. So for Amazon sellers, what does this mean? CARM's introduction is a game changer, actually. It means a shift from traditional paper based processes to an advanced digital framework. The change not only brings about efficiency, but also transparency in handling customs duties and taxes, and understanding that CARM is crucial for sellers to ensure that they are compliant with Canadian customs law, thereby avoiding unnecessary delays in your shipments and penalties that can impact business operations. So, with all of that kind of in layman's terms, this is an ecosystem that's going to be a simplified process that allows you to help pay for customs duties and import duties and taxes. It's also going to help you sign up a lot quicker and have real-time insight onto where your packages and your goods are with the Canadian government. So something that Canadians use is important to them to understand and have insight. Also going to be insightful for sellers, making sure that it's a simplified process, no more paper, no more manual process with all of this. So the biggest thing and takeaway of what CARM is going to be uh, taking note of for everyone on this talk today is that on May 13th, 2024, CARM will officially become the official system of record that importers and other trade partners will use to pay their duties and taxes. So, how does CARM affect your future expansion plans? So, really, what does this mean for you? So, what CARM's mission was is that to create a smoother entry into the Amazon Canadian market. Amazon sellers expanding into the Canadian market need to grasp this importance of the CBSA system. The system is not a regulatory requirement; it's a tool. It's a tool, everyone, that can significantly impact the ease and cost of doing business in Canada. Proper understanding and utilization of CARM can lead to an efficient customs processing and potential cost savings and smoother entry into the Canadian market. One of the key aspects that CARM has is the ability to provide clear view of customs and your duties and taxes. The clarity is crucial for sellers that you are on this call to budget and to avoid costly surprises and to have operations more accurately um, to be more accurate with your operations. So, moreover, CARM's streamlined process is to reduce the administrative burden that it takes to pay bills, to allow sellers to focus more on their business and growth rather than being bogged down by complex customs procedures. So, ultimately, in layman's terms, again, simplifying the process of growing into Canada and not be bogged down by the administrative costs. I know in the current process where it is being billed your duties and taxes account and being able to be mailed individual bills all the time. This is consolidation and more of an eco-friendly process, but also just the communication between the Canadian government and entrepreneurs like yourself, being able to get full insight on that process and to pay those taxes and duties efficiently. So, what features are in the CARM portal? So, this is kind of where I like to be insightful in what I'm going to expect when I'm using this portal coming up. So, the CARM client portal is a hub of all resources leading to the CBSA assessment and revenue management system. It offers a range of features designed to simplify the customs process, and they include electronic submissions of customs documents, viewing and managing financial statements, and making duty estimations via their calculator that they have, and payments online. So being able to have full insight onto electronic submissions of documents, managing the financial statements, and being able to actually ahead of time know how much customs and duties will be with their calculator that they have on their ecosystem as well. So for Amazon sellers, understanding those features is essential for your planning, your operations, and growth into that marketplace. One notable feature I also wanted to take note of is the portal is it has the ability to delegate access to different team members or customs brokers. So the delegation helps by distributing a workload you as a business in ensuring that the right personnel can handle the appropriate tax. For example, if you have a tax professional or if you have a CFO who's responsible for paying the duties and taxes, they would could get a sub account. If there is a person who is managing your operations or shipments, they can have inside as a business owner. You can have full access to have people access to your business and also have sub accounts for people responsible for different parts of your business. So again, being more be more strategic on who you get access to is important for a lot of entrepreneurs. And as you grow, it's important to give the right data and the access to the right people as well. So you as an entrepreneur, if you're a business leader or you're the one man show, obviously you'll have to take on this responsibility. But as bigger brands grow into Amazon Canada or just in Canada in general, they can have different entities get access to and be responsible for those types of tasks. Again, payments for billing or just for financial work and knowing books, being able to have insight on if your shipment has cleared customs and duties. These are all important things as businesses grow to have those kind of sub accounts. And another benefit I wanted to take note of is the simplification of the process for disputing or appealing decisions. So in the portal, if a payment is not made, or if there's a payment lost, or if the CBSA has a decision on like a hung up shipment, for example, the process to submit is streamlined now, so that if you have a dispute, you can file a dispute through the CARM portal, track the process and progress of it, and then communicate with the officials directly through the portal. So again, no more. It's consolidated in one place for a lot of sellers. It's a really significant amount of time saver and saving resources for Amazon sellers who have to address potential issues that come up with their customs transactions. So, how can you prepare for CARM for your brand? That's a great question. So, the step by step process that we at Frisbee are educating and want to be have sellers aware of is these four simple pieces of information. Number one, creating an account on the CBSA Assessment and Revenue Management website, first and foremost. Number two, the next step you will need to do is to register your business number or your NRI on the CARM portal, and that will include getting any prior transactions of your account if you're already shipped to Canada. If you're a current Frisbee customer or if you've sent or sell in Canada already, you can actually request those shipments or that account history from your broker. And in Frisbee's case, we actually use UPS, and you can directly email and get that information from carm@ups.com. Just email them directly. You can get your transactions, and Frisbee will assist you along the way if you have questions. But that's the email you would need to get your transactions from if you have a UPS brokerage account. If you use a different brokerage account to get into Canada, you would have to request it, all of the history from there. If you are a new seller and haven't sold into Canada yet, this is not something that you have to worry about. So, number three, after registering, sellers will need to complete your business profile, including details about your business activities, representatives, and custom brokers, if any, that you have. And that profile forms the basis of all future transactions and interactions with CARM. It's important for you as a seller to ensure that your profile information is accurate and up to date, and to avoid any discrepancies or delays in customs processing. My tip and a tip from the CARM portal is that the first person who is in charge of the business and the person who is in charge of the entire entity that will be moving forward to sign up first, and they will have ownership and admin rights over your business profile, and then other people can request to get access to your business profile. But the person who is either the CEO, the founder, the person who has the top of your organization, be the first person to register for the account. They will have the ownership rights over the business account. The last thing at the bottom, and this is a still evolving process to be very transparent, but based upon the brokerage account, there will be certain things that be required by that brokerage account. But according to what Frisbee knows right now, and again, this is something that's evolved, and the timeline is still a couple of months out. But a surety bond or cash deposit will be required to set up with a CBSA once release two launches on May 13th, 2024. So they've ensured us that a grace period is for 180 days after phase two launch. So what a surety bond would mean, it would just be a third party to be able to protect you. We have our partner at UPS. They have resources that we will be able to point to. So if any of this is confusing, we will make sure that all the right resources are in your hands to make sure that this is taken care of. But basically, it's a more in-depth background check for you as a business to make sure that you can again pay for your dues and taxes, that you are a legitimate entity, more of just a background check, and that you're protected, as well as the Canadian government's protected. If for some reason you don't pay your dues and taxes, they want to make sure that something's covered and that they can they get their money essentially. So this is something that is still evolving over time, and we will be as updates come out, we will make sure that they get in the hands of all of our sellers moving forward before that deadline. But that is something that has been noted to us as well. All right. So to recap, the 2024 timeline for CARM is as follows. Number one, as soon as possible, preferably, create your CARM account. That takes typically 15 minutes. We had teammates who have gone through the process. We have a step-by-step guide in order to do it. There's an 8-minute video created by the Canadian government that I even watched again last night in full. It's a very intuitive and very easy step-by-step process in order how to create an account. The system is as follows: a two-step verification process, making sure you are who you say you are, and you can verify it with an email, then creating your personal account, and then creating a business profile. All that takes roughly about 15 minutes or so. It's an instantaneous process, to be honest. So the background verifications will be if someone requests to be a part of your business profile, you would have to accept it as an entity. But this process is free to do. Creating your personal business profile, again, once that happens, as a importer of record, or whoever you're using to broker your cross-border clearances for your packages, and in Frisbee's case, we use UPS, you would have to delegate access to a UPS broker account. So the same process that we put through with all of our current customers, having a brokerage account, you would have to give access to that brokerage account as well. Again, very easy process to do. We at Frisbee have already documentation on how to facilitate all this. So we walk you through again for free every part of the step process if you need to guide you through the way on what the next steps entail. And that would be something that you just have to give access to that brokerage account to make sure that the CARM portal talks to your brokerage account so that they both have insights to each other. And then finally, on step four, be enrolled fully by May 13th, 2024. This is a date that is official. The dates kept getting pushed back for a couple of years. Last year, it was actually noted for October 2023, but kept getting pushed out. But this is the date that is officially being set as any importers until then. Nothing has changed, but in moving forward after that, you will be required to have a CARM account, use the portal for your import duties and taxes. So those are the quick bullet points for that. So how does Frisbee assist with this CARM process? So Amazon sellers should also establish a routine for, of course, reviewing your accounts, transactions, and communications with the CBSA. Frisbee is one that guides you along the way and helps you as a seller understand that this is the ecosystem that's in place. But regular reviews help in catching any potential issues early. So, allowing for a quick resolution. Additionally, maintaining detailed records of all imports. That's where it's going to be in CARM, and Frisbee can help with the duties paid and the communications with CBSA for invaluable case studies or disputes. We'd help you with that process. But really, our job is to make it very easy to sign up for this process and requirement. So we'll actually walk you through the process of signing up via one-on-one meeting for any clients who need help with guidance, assisting with the UPS account delegation in the CARM portal. Again, making sure the two talk to each other. Moving forward as a new customer of ours or any current customers, we are here ready to help you with that process. Update seller, help you as a seller on further updates for the CARM before May 13th as the deadline approaches. So that's something we're still monitoring and working with our partners and any additional things that are required. But right now, this is the process that we have in place and know any issues that arise in the process, of course, we are here to help. So we are here to assist. We are here to answer those questions, give guidance for international expansion. We want every seller to be successful, and we want the stressors to be as low as possible because we have done the homework and make sure that you are set up for success before any issues arise. So that's what our promise is at Frisbee. That is what we uh, thrive on, and that's what we want to continue to share with our customers is that we will work with you hand in hand. There's no catch. This is just something that's a regulation requirement now that's being rolled out. Doesn't matter if you sell on Amazon .ca. This is across the board. If you're an importer, you are fulfilling as a FBM or a fulfilled by a merchant. You still have to have this process in place. If you have a customer in Canada, it'll be the same if you have your own. Excuse me. Um, if you have your own website and you're fulfilling to Canada, all these things that when customs and goods crosses the border, this is its own ecosystem, and it affects all business in general. So this, as Amazon sellers and as e-commerce brands, need to take note of. Also, if you are new to Frisbee or understanding who Frisbee is, we also help with Canada expansion with the following ecosystems: helping with NRI or non-resident number setups, your importer of record, your customs clearance, helping with tax setups, discounted small parcel and pallet shipments to Amazon fulfillment centers and 3PLs, and then trucking in the US and Canada is also ecosystem that we help facilitate or that we host, and we also help with the returns if that arises, if that need arises. So some of the questions again that people have been asking with this process before. I know I'm kind of going quite fast, but I know that there's a lot of questions that people had coming up. I wanted to make sure that there's enough time that people had when it came to going over everything. So making sure that try to skinny myself down here, see if I can get out of the way. But answering your questions, making sure that everyone feels comfortable with the topics that we covered today. But the top questions asked, and I wanted to kind of cover beforehand. If you have those questions that we haven't covered already, feel free to put those in the comment section. I know that's kind of coming up. I'm reviewing that right now as I'm looking through my presentation. But the top questions that I asked so far were: does this CARM replace the UPS brokerage account system? No. Excuse me. As I continue to talk, this does not replace the UPS brokerage account system. This is an enhancement on top of the brokerage system. So Frisbee works hand in hand with top carriers all around the world. Our main partners are FedEx, UPS, and DHL. But with Canada, we help sellers get set up with the UPS brokerage account. That's something that a lot of our current customers are well aware of. If you have another brokerage account like FedEx or another broker, they will also have to have these requirements and talk to your COM portal as well. So whomever you ask, Frisbee, we will guide our customers into the UPS brokerage account ecosystem. But if you happen to have another brokerage account with another carrier, you would have to set up the same exact ecosystem that I'm explaining today. We happen to at Frisbee use UPS. Another top question was: does this apply for all products being sold in Canada? Yes. This is a government requirement. This is not just an Amazon requirement. I want that to be very clear. So everything that I explained today is important to understand that the requirements by Amazon will not be the same. They don't take responsibility of duties and taxes paid. That's why we tell all of our customers to pay for duties and taxes up front. Amazon will actually refuse shipments unless the duties and taxes are paid at the border, which is a costly mistake by sellers that we've seen happen time and time again. When you don't pay your duties and taxes up front, for example, the other this summer or past summer, actually, I had paid for a good in Italy, and I live in the United States, so they shipped it to me. It was DDU, so they had actually not paid for the duties and taxes up front. I luckily got a bill in the mail from my brokerage account at FedEx, and for a nice sum of $88 for a good that was imported to me that I had to pay for because they had not paid for it up front. So it's like sending a gift basket to grandma. If you send something across if she lives in Canada and I'm sending her goods, if I don't pay for it up front with my carrier, she's going to have to pay it before she can even receive it in the mail or from her carrier, or she has to pick it up and pay before she can receive that package. So that's where that ecosystem. It doesn't matter if what product it is. It's that all products are going into this ecosystem, if that makes sense. Does this next question would be, how do we get an NRI number as a seller outside of Canada? That's a great question. So as part of your requirement to get this, NRI numbers or non-resident numbers into Canada, if you are not a resident of Canada, this is a business number that requires you to have to send your goods up and sell in Canada. Frisbi has a great offer. If you wait till the end, I will tell you how you can get a free NRI number. But the NRI number applies to anyone who lives outside of Canada. So if you hold on to the end, I will let you know. This is one of the business numbers that you required in order to send goods internationally. What are the best ways to ship to Amazon FBA centers? That's a great question. I would be remiss to say that the best way is with Frisbee. I'm hoping that many of our customers would attest to this and let me know in the comment section if you can attest to that. And basically how we help international expansion is small, but then also as sellers grow, we do this with small parcel delivery, and then we also with Canada and North America we help with trucking. So anywhere from U.S. to Canada, or Canada to Canada, or U.S. to U.S., or Canada to the U.S. Those lanes we help with LTL and FTL ecosystem as well. So we have a lot of trucking customers. We have a majority of our customers are small parcel customers that we help get their goods into fulfillment centers directly. So we at Frisbee just help clear the way. And with our amazing carrier partners with FedEx, UPS, DHL, we help get uh, sellers' goods into different fulfillment centers all around the world, or through PLs. So this is an ecosystem that I would say the best way to ship it to fulfillment centers with Frisbee, because of our rates that we negotiate on behalf of the seller. It's very discounted, and I also have a special surprise for everyone at the very end of this. If you're hanging on to every word that I'm saying as well. So go ahead and take my word for it that Frisbee is the best in that ecosystem. If you have larger containers that you're trying to get in fulfillment centers, like directly, like large ocean freight containers, we would point you to one of our amazing partners as well. But we understand that sellers don't want to replicate and do mass amounts of shipments or pieces into a fulfillment center right away on their expansion journey. They want to either do just in time, or they want to have that capability to get their goods in there quickly, so that's not sitting there and getting any sort of long-term storage fees. So that's how Frisbee helps that ecosystem. And I'm going to refer to other pieces of content and YouTube videos that we have available. Why this ecosystem makes the most sense. Um, what other requirements? And finally, the last of the initial questions that we got are, what are other requirements are there to sell on Amazon Canada? Well, first and foremost, if you're an Amazon seller at all, Amazon.com, or in North America in general, if you have a .com account, you have a North American account, so a unified account. Same thing happens with Europe. If you have one account, you can actually sell in all of the different marketplaces within Europe. but you have to have at least a .com account. So if you have an Amazon account, you can connect. If you've done it recently, you are set up so that you are part of the NARF program unless you've gone in and shut it off. And again, I will refer you to the NARF program webinar that we did 2 months ago. But what it is that uh, if you have goods that are in the United States, they can be fulfilled and sold in Canada. It's a swapping of fees. They're higher shipping fees, and also the paying of the import duties and taxes on the seller, or excuse me, on the recipient, not the seller. But if you are selling into FBA, you would need a non-resident number. You need a GST account, which is for taxes and compliance as well. So I know we have some partners listening probably today that we would point to that would help with the tax ecosystem here at Frisbee. They're amazing to work with, and we would help you find really great people to stay up to date on making sure that your dues and taxes, or at least the taxes are accounted for. And then having a shipping partner like Frisbee to be able to clear customs and help you get your goods into those fulfillment centers. Those are really the main the pieces of that to sell into Canada, start selling into Canada. And I would say before all of that, making sure you've done the education, making sure that you've had that track record. Your listings are obviously up in .ca if they're translated to French and you know in Quebec. That is something that you can be a part of, and is the localization of it. You want to make sure that you're speaking to the right audience as well. So those would be the requirements and enhancements that we would start setting up. Very high level. I could go into more detail, but want to make sure we get to other questions as well. So I'm gonna go through real quickly and see if I'm gonna pull up some other questions. If you have them, please let me know. I see a lot of highs, hellos. Hello from the UK. Thank you for listening from the UK. I love all of our friends all around the world and clients. Anyone consumables category want to get in Canada, but have many questions. Trey, good question. Consumables category, I'm assuming either like a supplement or food item. We have lots of clients who are in the consumables category. So if you have questions, actually, I will point you to our team at the very end. And if you've inquired about or said, hey, you're interested in learning more when you sign up for this will be something that our amazing team will be reaching out proactively and making sure that if you have questions about selling in this particular category, as Amazon sellers, we all want to have all of our questions answered. But my favorite and unfortunate response is it's going to depend on what your business is, where you are in your journey, and how we can help you in that capacity. So depending on who you are, we want to answer your specific questions that apply to just your business. That's what we do really well. So with a consumable category, it's going to depend on what kind of consumable, where you're manufacturing, where you're trying to sell in, and then having all those requirements to make sure you're safe, so that your business is safe, so that you're being a great business and can grow effectively and correctly. So that's what I would say for you, Troy. If you have many questions, our team will be more than happy to assist with you, and we'll reach out directly. If they're listening to this, they might already be compiling an email for you. Um, Amazing. Hello from India. Um, Again, one of our tax partners. Hello, KB Financial. So KB Financial is here. Sales tax perspective. Just let them know. Amazing people over there at KB Financial. Hello, hello team over there. If you have your questions, those are one of the trusted partners that we have about sales tax perspective. So check them out as well, everyone. With the beautiful Lake Tahoe, oh man, Sandra, I love it. Lake Tahoe's got to be gorgeous this time of year. I'm in the frigid Northeast Ohio area. It was -6 degrees yesterday, and we have snow just coming out of nowhere. So for everyone who's around the world, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's lake effect snow that's constantly hitting us. But Lake Tahoe sounds amazing. California, Denver. Hello, everyone. Anyone else sell in UK and Canada? Pakistan, straight out of LA. He helped Amazon entire process and setup. Do I need to? That's a good question. Do I need to register for a Canada VAT to sell in Canada using inventory from US FBA, sending inventory to Amazon? Okay. Um, And nil, I'm going to answer these in multiple parts. Do I need to register for Canada VAT to sell? Canada doesn't have a VAT; they have what's called GST. It's another version of their tax, but you will have to have a requirement if you meet a certain threshold. So non-residents, you will instantly have to sign up and have a GST account so that your taxes can be filed appropriately with the Canadian government using an inventory from Amazon US and FBA. So Amazon actually, if you're talking about the NARF program, that's how you will have to have with that ecosystem. I've answered those questions in our other webinar. So I would refer you out to our YouTube page. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe today. And I'll ask you again at the very end. Go ahead and subscribe to that because we have all of our updates from what you need in terms of tax and compliance and our guides for different countries. We'll also have all that piece of information there of evolving with questions like this. And we make sure that all the content's answered in our guides. So I would go ahead and drive you to our blog or our YouTube page for more information specifically on what your tax liability would be, or you can talk to our amazing friends over at KB Financial as well. And then sending inventory to Amazon Canada. Um, I think we I think we covered that as well. Um, does Amazon handle duties? No, they don't. To be blunt, Amazon does not allow for unpaid duties and taxes to go into fulfillment centers. The reason that is Yusuf, that's a great question. The reason that is that Amazon does not take liability of tax liability upon themselves. So for most marketplaces in around the world, they don't want to have that liability fall upon their shoulders, which it makes sense because as an entrepreneur, you're the one who's selling the products on their platform. You're responsible in selling that good. You're responsible for the tax liability and obligations and duties as well to get it there. So if you try to send your goods to Amazon fulfillment centers specifically without paying the duties and taxes on it, or specifically the duties, Amazon will not accept the goods and they will actually they will turn it back around and send it back to you. So that is a horror story that we've heard from many sellers that they've learned the hard way. Uh, thousands upon thousands of dollars that they've lost in shipments because they made that mistake. So we tell people when you're sending to fulfillment centers, you must pay your duties and taxes as part of that. Good question. Going through, you will learn that here, Yusuf. Stay tuned. Yes, thank you, John Doe. um, you will there be a replay? That's a good question. This is something that did come up. The video is frozen on my end with no sound. Oh, that's not good. Um, I am so sorry about that, Christy. But if you do want the recording, yes, if you had put in your email address and when you registered, this automatically gets emailed to that email address. This recording will get emailed to you directly. This will also be on our YouTube page. So if you subscribe to the Frisbi YouTube channel, you can go and see this recording for free and get that download to you. But we like when people sign up because it gets in their inbox and people like to forward it onto their team or they can refer back to this piece of information. We will also break this down in different segments and make sure that the education continues to evolve and provide updates within our own ecosystem and on YouTube as well. So if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe to the Frisbi YouTube channel and follow along when new videos get released as well. It hasn't started, Christy. Oh, this was already back in. Okay. Will you be sending these slides or recording after I mentioned that? It says in the end that they are sending replay to our email. So if we already sell it, I'm gonna do this in real time. So Cindy, if we already sell in Canada and currently use Frisbee, this is just another tool to exactly what the duties taxes will be when we set up our shipments. So Cindy, I hopefully answer that question. This is going to be a requirement that you must sign up. It's a free sign up, but instead of in addition with your brokerage account, you will be required to sign up for CARM and again have your brokerage account tied to CARM. It's instead of getting the if you haven't opted out of the tangible invoices that you get from your broker when you clear customs with the UPS, they send individual invoices. This is kind of that consolidation process of everything, and you can see your how to pay those customs duties and taxes within CARM ecosystem. So this is instead of the current process, this is a simplification of it and a digitalization of it. So Canada's caught up to the times in making sure that you can pay your bills online. Um, if I were to be so bold and generalize like that. But yes, this is something that if you work with Frisbee, we will we want to make sure that you are covered, and we will have show you how to get this taken care of for your business. If you're a new customer or you currently work with us, it will be required as a Canadian seller to do this. Nothing changes until then, until the May 13th deadline. I want that to be very clear. Nothing has changed until then, but we are prepping in advance. We are getting out in front of this. Now is January 18th. This is May. We're talking about May in a couple months. We want people to be very aware, be very on it, and we want to get out in front of this as much as possible to make sure that you as a seller are successful and are not panicking at the last second. So that is the point of this webinar. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, we got it already. Oh, perfect. And then we have to set up a CARM account with our customs for our customs broker. Christy, if I've not answered that question, please let me know. Again, having your customs broker get access to the CARM account, you will make sure the two tie together. And if that's not clear, again, we will have a guide on how to do it, and I will show you on the next pages how to get access to that guide and sign up guide here shortly. As we're coming up a time, will CARM replace the UPS billing center, or those different things? They are different things. One will need access to the other so that they both you use when you use UPS as a shipment carrier, they will need to talk to CARM about the duties and taxes paid, and then you will they're two separate entities, but they need to talk to each other in order for you to pay your duties and taxes, if that makes sense. Do you need to create separate CARM accounts for each separate NRI or each brand that you sell under? That's a good question, Ethan. You would need, if they are different, if they are different business entities and different NRI numbers. Yes, I'm gonna say yes, but we can double check and make sure. That's a great question. Um, but I would say if you are filing duties and taxes under a different business entity, and you're paying for it under a different entity, yes, you would have to create separate accounts. Hopefully that makes sense. But please reach out. And again, I'll give everyone, if they're point of contact at Frisbee or reaching out support at frisbee.com. Again, I will reference this at the final portion of our webinar today. That is something that we will make sure that you're clear and we get the answers for you well in advance. Again, the sign up process is very quick and instantaneous. However, we want to make sure that you're covered from the get-go and you don't have to worry about this in the few months when Prime Day probably is around the corner for you as a seller. Can Frisbee help us ship flammable products to UPS, USA to FBA Canada? David, it's going to depend. My favorite answer, it's going to depend based upon the product you're shipping and also the, how it's packaged. So I'll revert to my shipping compliance team to make sure and answer those questions. But that's a specific question. I don't have. Again, I'm gonna say it depends. I'm sorry, I can't be more specific than that. If the business owner is Canadian citizen living in the U.S., how does that impact this process? That is a great question. How can we check if an NRI was previously used? So Rivka, that is a good question. Basically, this is to if you're filing again, if your business is filed under a Canadian resident, then this process is going to be a little bit different. But this is for any products that are being imported into Canada. I'm going to say that as a fact. This process applies to any products that are being imported from outside of Canada into Canada. So this process is who it ties to and how you pay for the taxes. That's going to be on the back end and how it's tied to your business. So that is something I can't specifically answer if I'm being honest. But that is a question that we can search out for you. And if you email us at support@frisbee.com, we will make sure that we get the answer to. That's a very unique situation. I want to make sure we get you the most unique and correct answer possible. Um, I was held up and just joined. Could you please send us a presentation copies? Thomas, yes. I will make sure that I'm aim to trade in both US and Canada. No problem. You should have it in your email here shortly. Um, we're getting to the end of it. Frisbee extremely easy. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Frisbee is extremely easy to work with and great customer service. Our shipments sent from California arrived within 7 days at FBA centers in Canada. So luckily to have found Frisbee. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. It's always good to hear. I hope you're finding success in Canada. That's my wish to you, and that's what Frisbee's wish is for you. Really, our goal and our mission is to simplify this process for people like Sandra. And if you're new to this process, and a lot of people said you don't work with Frisbee, if you don't choose to work with Frisbee, that's fine. Our goal is to be educational and be forthright about all the requirements it is to expand your brand into different marketplaces around the world. We do that. We've been around for a very long time, 10 plus years now. And our goal is to make it even easier for you to understand these regulations and requirements so you don't have to worry about it. You can worry and focus on the parts of the pieces and of your business to help you grow. So that's what we promise is to get you the answers and get you the right tools and resources in order to achieve those goals. So we appreciate you, Sandra. Thank you for the kind words. Can we use Frisbee from the UK? Yes. Jason? Yes. You can use Frisbee from anywhere in the world. We are amazing to work with because we're an international company with employees all over the world. We help people grow from different parts of Europe into the United States, United States to Canada, Canada to uh, Australia. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. If you're listening to this, Frisbee can help you out. So, yes, we can help you. Love referring sellers to Frisbee in here. Great feedback for on your service. Thank you. And are as important for these Amazon sellers as well as those who are selling their goods from China to Taiwan. I have seen sellers ignoring this. Yes. So we also Frisbee is also in the process of working. We have been working with our carriers to get directly from different countries around the world, wherever your manufacturer is. Potentially, if it's in the United States, that's great. But if a lot of our sellers have directly from the United States into marketplaces like Canada, we are in the process of building out those lanes and can have pricing and are getting pricing for people. So if you are interested in that, again, go ahead and reach out. We have those capabilities for most lanes. That lane specifically is a very strong one that we've heard people request. So we're in the process of building that out. You can actually go into, if you're a Frisbee customer, you can check if you can send from your manufacturer and distributor in China, South Korea, wherever it might be, India, into directly into Canada and see if we have that lane. If that's something that you're requesting, let us know and we'll try to get that facilitated for you. Just all the way. Can't say this one. Hey, oh, was the GST threshold set up as soon as get passed? As it's passed, you will need to be registered for GST. Thank you, KB Financial. Yes. So as to the GST threshold, as soon as it passed the border, it'll need your products and your company will need to be registered for GST. So that is a requirement. Can you contact me? KB Financial coming in for the win and sitting in my DMs. Uh, does Amazon accept full containers from other countries? Raphael, yes, that is something that they accept. The caveat for between small parcel and full container. Small parcel and why Frisbee loves this method is because you don't have to have a scheduled check-in time for your goods. Once you create the shipment and you tell Amazon how many pieces and products are that you're sending there, you don't have to have that checked in. So it can be a pallet, it can be as long as you're following the dimensions, you can check that in via small parcel. Anything above that, LTL, FTL, large containers, you send those to Amazon, they will have to you will have to have a scheduled time to have that unload. So live unloads, a lot of sellers like to watch their pieces and their products being unloaded from their container. Amazing people over at Tactical Logistics Solution do that we point to. But yes, you can have that large, or you can have containers from different parts of the world go into Amazon fulfillment centers, but you will have to schedule that to be done. So depending on the time of year, it's gonna your dates can be within a couple days, or if it's around Q4, it'd be weeks upon weeks out. We've seen people who can't get containers of their products into fulfillment centers because there are no scheduled times to be unloaded. So trucks won't go there and they won't just sit there. They won't leave containers in a fulfillment parking lot. Like that's a seller's worst nightmare. So we at Frisbee, we call ourselves like the emergency. Like if you need goods in there quickly, you can get your product in there within once it reaches the fulfillment center. It's a few hours before it's all checked in and it's ready to be live in a fulfillment center. So small parcel is just a carrier, it gets unloaded right when it arrives and it's in the fulfillment center. Again, Amazon tells you where to send it to. That's the only caveat is they'll tell you where to send it to, and then those pieces will be unloaded within hours and your inventory is live. So if something happens where you have an influencer who picks up your products and you start selling like crazy in Canada and you can't get more product there quickly, utilizing a service like us instead of like a truck or like a full container, that's something that's going to get your product there quicker because we use air freight. So it gets there quicker, gets unloaded and into the fulfillment center as fast as possible. So anywhere from 2 to 6 business days, depending on where you're shipping from and shipping to, you can expect that. I know containers are experiencing some issues with certain lanes, like Suez Canal is dry, so the containers are backed up. I know the Red Sea is having issues and they're rerouting people. So ocean freight is very cost effective. However, if your goods are getting rerouted and the timelines are pushed like crazy, it really hurts your logistics ecosystem and it hurts your forecasted sell through numbers. So having a solution like us in your back pocket, no matter what size of seller you are, you can't go wrong. Hopefully that's answering. KB financial doing now. Yes, dear. Accessible container. Yeah. So if you're doing NARF, you do not need to apply for CARM account. Scott, that is a good question. If you're doing NARF, you don't need to apply. What I forecast, this is my educational background forecast, is that you will need to apply for CARM because it's a Canadian requirement. So being able to pay for dues and taxes, in order to do that, you will need to apply. I would do this anyways. This is going to be my kind of conclusion. And before we wrap up, we're getting into the hour, so I want to make sure that we conclude on time. My expectation is that anyone who's importing goods into Canada, the expectation is be sign up for free with CARM, and to get that account all situated and making sure that you are in order to pay your dues and taxes. That's the requirement and what the Canadian government is forcing to do. Amazon has to comply with Canadian government requirements. So if the program in NARF, if you're selling products in Canada, they still you still have to sell their dues and taxes because of the import ecosystem that they have. So either Amazon will impose a fee when that product is fulfilled, or you will have to, as a seller, be pushed into selling directly. But there will be a way that you have to pay for this ecosystem in general. But if the government is making any sort of seller do it, you will be required to do it no matter what program you're part of. So that's my prediction that those will be changes coming down Amazon's pipeline pretty shortly. They're learning it about all of this just like we are, but we want to make sure that all of our sellers and everyone is in front of this as far as possible. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your if I didn't get all of this completely answered. I apologize. Let me go ahead and get the presentation finished up. Resources for you. So I want to make sure that this is not the only time that we will be talking about this or Canada in general. A lot of questions that came up that I'm going to point people to that if I didn't touch on, we have resources at our Frisbee website. So if you go to frisbee.com and under our onto our on our guide sides or where our guides are in the resources tab on the top right hand corner. I should know this. I built the website. On the top right hand side, we have our blog, we have our resources, our content guides, and our help resource center will be new and revamped resource center will be there. All these guides and international expansion guides like the NARF, what is it? The fulfillment program, understanding CARM for sellers. Again, that blog is going to evolve over time. So stay tuned, bookmark that. Refer to people and other sellers that are selling in Canada to it. That will evolve over time with links and resources as well. And then a lot of people who asked about selling into Canada in general with the Pan EU program or selling in Europe. This is supposed to be Canada. I apologize. Or selling in Canada. We have on our YouTube page, the point of this was on our YouTube page, we have consistent webinars like this that will be posting educational pieces of answering your questions. So if you're part of this webinar, you like what we hear, again, this is something that's a little bit new in the on the tax and duty side of things, and it's a government requirement. So we're learning about it in real time as fast as possible so that we can educate you. We will keep updating. So the resources that I have to you in real time that I can offer here at Frisbi are one-on-one meetings to assist with the sign-up process and answer any questions with our team. They're standing by. Call them if you have a direct contact person at Frisbi, or you can email us if you're not a customer. Go ahead and email support@frisbi.com, and that's support@frisbi.com. And we will have people set up a time to meet with you if you're a Frisbi customer, or if you're a new customer, we'll tell you how to get all situated. And there's no cost of it. We just want you to be supported in this journey. And then if you want a free CARM onboarding guide, which I know a lot of people are, go ahead and email us at support@frisbi.com, and we will email you the onboarding guide. The step-by-step guide is very detailed. It has links to the Canadian government website. Their 8-minute long video of how to sign up. Again, very easy to do. I did it, or our team has done it. Very easy to sign up. We want to make sure that you're out ahead of this before that May deadline. Special offers. If you last so long, you're going to get rewarded. What my promise to you is that even though this is a confusing time, this is people who are looking to expand. This is something that you just want to elevate to the next level. It's January 2024, everyone. We're excited about our growth in Canada. I'm here to help you out. So what I have for you. If you're a Canadian seller, I'm going to reward my customers, but I will also reward new customers. If you're a customer of Frisbi, I can help you start shipping to Canada in 24 hours with our Frisbi temporary NRI solution. We have it set up so you can send your first shipment on us. You don't have to wait for an NRI number. So you can start shipping within 24 hours when you sign up for a free Frisbi account. So go today, sign up for a free Frisbi account, let them know that you learned about it on the CARM website, and we can get you shipping in 24 hours with our free temporary solution. If you're a current seller, you're not using Frisbi, utilize our services and see what you like with our solutions, and we'll help you out there. If you are also looking in a new seller, I will offer you a free permanent NRI number when you sign up for a Frisbi account and you mention the words CARM webinar to the person who's going to help you get your account set up. You must mention CARM webinar. We will waive all the fees to get an NRI number set up. Mention CARM webinar though. And then for my current customers, you're sending to Canada. A lot of our customers are in Canada and they're currently thriving in Canada. No matter who you are, I'm going to give you 10% off all of your Canada shipments through the end of February, with the code of CARM. CARM. Use CARM. You're going to get 10% off of your small parcel shipments. Does not include the fuel and peak surcharges. There's no discount on those. Those are excluded. So I just want everyone to know, use the promo code CARM, and you're going to get 10% off of all your shipments to Canada. Again, this is just to Canada, no matter where in the world you are, to Canada until the end of February. How about that? Amazing. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because thank you for sticking through this presentation. But I think that's a little bit it. I'm going to make sure that there's no other things. My clicker is not working. That's why we had some struggles. There it is. I had to click the right screen. Everyone, thank you so much. Again, I know we're kind of butted up against an hour, just ran over a little bit, but the point of this webinar is to make sure that all of our sellers are in front of this regulation. This is something that's coming from the government. We want to make sure that all of our entrepreneurs are set up for success in Canada, current and future. So if you're new to Frisbi, or if you've been with us forever and you want to learn more about us, thank you so much. Again, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I have lots of great content and pieces that are helping expansion, not just to Canada, but to Europe, to Singapore, to Australia, to Japan, you name it. You're going to be hearing from me about all of our guides that we have coming out. Go ahead and check out our content page, all of our expansion guides, what you should know. All this is hard work that we put in to educate and help you grow your business. If you have questions, support@frisbi.com. Or if you want to give me feedback on something you want to hear more about, just something as a, if you're a Frisbi customer, what you want to learn more about, how you like learning about different opportunities in the Amazon ecosystem or beyond, email me at ryan@frisbi.com. That's ryan@frisbi.com. I'm going to put it in the chat for everyone. You can have access to my personal email if you have questions. It's ryan@frisbi.com. Save that, put it in a bookmark. Let us know what you like, how you like learning, what content that we put out that's useful for you as a seller. And we appreciate your business. If you're a customer, if you're a future customer of ours, thank you for listening. If you're Amazon and you're listening to this, thank you for learning from us and being a partner of ours. KB Financial, thank you for being in my DMs and helping us assist on the side. And look, everyone, again, I can only tell you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you're updated with more pieces of content that come out about expansion in the international sector on Amazon and e-commerce and beyond. I'm Ryan Kramer. Thanks again for everyone who is joining today. I wish you all the best in 2024. It's exciting that we're already halfway through January. Hopefully everyone's seeing success. And if you have questions, follow me on LinkedIn, message me there, or follow us on social media. Again, this information hopefully has been valuable and useful. If you have feedback or questions, feel free to email us at support@frisbi.com or email me directly, ryan@frisbi.com. We'll catch you guys next time on another webinar here at Frisbi. Take care.